ImportError, no module named Django.Core.Wsgi for Uwsgi. I'm using Uwsgi for my Django. Version is equal to 1.4 project, but there's an error if I run. But I could import Django.Core.Wsgi as follows. The Django.ini file. Wsgi.py.
If you installed Unicorn on both sudo apt-get install Unicorn and venv pip install Unicorn, use sudo apt-get remove Unicorn and restart your virtual environment. This way, it worked for me.
The error importer column no module name Django.Core.Ws generally arises when Uwsgi tries reading the ws.py file and comes to the line. It can't find these modules because Django is not installed, or if it is installed, it is not in Python path. If your project is in a virtual env and Django is only installed in this virtual env, somehow the path to the Django modules are not in the Python path, and thus Python can't find it. If you are curious, you can insert the following code into the ws.py file, and see the Python path. If you run a local version of Uwsgi, installed in the virtual env, then the path will be set correct, but if you run a global version of Uwsgi it will normally not have the Python path set correctly. You can tell Uwsgi the path to the virtual env, and it will figure out the correct Python path. Just use the virtual env command line argument, e.g. The following arguments does exactly the same as virtual env, evenv, home, h. Surprisingly, setting $virtual_env has no effect on Python path. Strangely enough, if you don't use the virtual env argument, the environment variable $virtual_env will be set correctly. Test this by inserting into ws.py. This will print, but the Python path is not set correctly, and does not include anything from the virtual env. I can't explain why this is.
If you use virtual and try to add home to Django.ini to test it through web browser.
In my case, I installed the Django application and everything else for Python 3, but the Uwsgi was using Python 2. Just check the log while running Uwsgi whether it is using Python 2 or Python 3, and reinstall Uwsgi if it is not consistent. Look for the line similar to below line in Uwsgi startup log. Python version column 3.4.3 default October 14, 2015 20 column 31 column 36 GCC 4.8.4 VS Python version column 2.7.6 default June 22, 2015 18 column 01 column 27 GCC 4.8.2.
Since you accepted the answer which mentions virtualenv, it seems that you use it. In this case, make sure that Django is installed in your virtualenv directory, say venv. You can separately install it from pip under virtualenv or manually create a symbolic link, if you are on Unix-like system, to venv site packages.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.